Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius. Today is the 13th of July, 2023. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner in there, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. And I believe you can find some useful information here, guys. So check us out here on easymarkets.com. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, for sure. Right, guys, now then, let's jump into the charts. The first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. And looking at the picture here, well, beautiful rebound in general, because as you know, yesterday we got the US numbers, inflation numbers, and those did not really satisfy the the dollar bulls. But look, in general, yes, the inflation number declined. Was kind of expecting that, to be honest. And yes, we had a nice move to the downside, further nice move to the downside. But looking at the picture here, and of course that was positive for the indices. Indices enjoyed the moment because, again, they were all about the fact that the Fed will not maybe go for further hikes and stuff. But look, at the moment, yes, the market is enjoying the positivity, the fact that inflation is falling. That means that less rate hikes, and yeah, that could be a little bit more helpful for the stock market. Well, I would say for now, let them enjoy the moment and let them kind of, let everybody who's in the stock market, let them enjoy the moment. Yes, because again, that might change very quickly if suddenly other data continues to come out bad. And let's say, for example, if something like the housing market is in the US is still on a rise, then yeah, I mean, in general, yes, inflation fell, but the house prices are not included in the CPI. So if housing continues to remain an issue, and for example, it doesn't fall, then yes, the Fed will say, hey, but you know what? Yes, one part is falling, but actually this the housing is not, we're still having huge, big bidding wars, So, long story short, I would say for now, let's keep it simple. Yes, I mean, let's enjoy the ride, but keep it short term. I mean, don't try to, foresee the future way too much in there. So Nikkei, yes, beautiful rebound from the lower side of this broadening kind of formation. Or I can honestly, I always struggle with these when I see this one. It's like, is it a triangle, a broadening triangle, or a broadening wedge? I mean, although the broadening wedge is not something that is kind of there, but let's keep it as a triangle. So we rebounded from this lower side of it, and we pushed higher. So now at this point, so far everything's working out nicely. In order for me to go lower, I said before, I need to break this upside line, and then this one drawn from the low of the 15th of March. If we do fall below this, then yes, I will go lower. I can see there in the chat room, Prosperity Traders. Hello from Vegas. Hello. I hope you're having a wonderful night. I think you should be sleeping there. I mean, but okay, if you're awake, then you're awake. So yeah, good morning, I would say. Almost, yeah, but yeah. Or is it still nighttime? Actually, you know what? You tell me. You tell me if it's nighttime. I think if it's Vegas, then I think it's just still. Yeah, I think no, it's already early hours of the morning. Yeah, I think it's already past 12. But anyway, guys, yeah, if you're watching from there, thank you very much. That's called dedication. Okay, guys. So jumping back into the charts, ASX 200. Also, we saw a nice positivity here. Yes, of course, everybody's now into in this positive mode because yay, like inflation is falling, no more rate rate hikes and stuff like that. Well, as Bank of Canada has shown us yesterday, that you know what, they're not stopping either. So yep, Bank of Canada did go for a hike yesterday. They went for a 25 basis point increase as expected, to be honest. But in general, yes, the market for now, I think it's enjoying the moment. I would say enjoying the positivity, but will this last? That's a good question, because again, you know, this is exactly what the Fed does not need. It does not need, you know, everybody getting too comfortable about themselves, you know, like, and you know, we need a shakeup. In my opinion, I think that this is what they're looking for. But that's only my opinion. I mean, they don't need the big rallies. They need a decline, but like not a drastic one. You know, not a drastic one, but still a decline. So that's why at this point, I think that look, again, as I said already with Nikkei, enjoy the ride, enjoy the moment. Let's see if this can be maintained, but at this point, yes, I mean, it seems like the buyers are in control here on ASX 200. So as long as we stay above this downside line, these are the futures, by the way, that I'm looking at here. As long as we stay above this downside line, I will continue targeting the upside. Daredevil Dave, good morning. Good morning to you too. Good morning from Hull. Hi. I've been to Hull before. So I've been to Hull. So yeah, nice place. Can't say anything bad. But yeah, guys, honestly, if anybody who wants to drop in there in the chat room where they're from, that's actually that would be spectacular. That would be really interesting to see the demographics. It's for my own personal statistics in a way, like who's from where, you know, like, and if you can just drop it in there, that would be fun. But yeah, look, guys, coming back to ASX 200, at the moment, I'm cautiously bullish. I'm enjoying the moment, the fact that we are seeing, you know, some positivity. Great. Okay, I cannot say anything else in this point, to be honest, because we need to see what the Fed will do, because again, okay, at the moment, this is sitting as it is. You know, I think that they're still going to go, because I think everybody, the market, what the market is doing, and why you think if the Fed is still going to hike, why is it like, let's say, still rallying? Because if we know that they're gonna you know, hike, well, exactly, that's why, because everybody knows that they're gonna hike, and kind of everybody's adjusting to that. Everybody's like, oh, you know what, fair enough, you know, like, okay, we're gonna hike, you know, it doesn't matter, I'll just continue rallying. So I'll adjust and I'll go forward, you know, and this is what's happening right now. I think the market is just adjusting to the idea that, okay, there's going to be another hike. Okay, yeah, let's go higher, you know, let's adjust and move forward. And this is what's happening. Now, you need some sort of like rhetoric, I think, from the Fed or some Fed officials. Kind of, basically, you need somebody to spook the market a little bit. And the only ones who can do that right now is the Fed. So that's why I'm cautiously bullish, but I'm always keeping, you know, my ear out there, just thinking like, okay, what can happen next, you know. Winston 76, hi. Cape Town, okay, Cape Town, haven't been to that one. Vegas, actually, by the way, I haven't been to Vegas as well. So 33% from the three places here I've been to, but Cape Town, okay, one of those places that I really would like to come and visit. Okay, S&P 500. Let's see what the reaction was here. Okay, look, everything's fine. Sorry guys, this webinar today is gonna be like a bit like, how to say it. I'll be looking at the instruments that I already looked at. And in general, I'm just going to be recapping those, because again, just to see how it played out, how all the scenarios played out. So in this case, look, we've surpassed the 4,500 territory here on my futures, on the S&P futures, and To be honest, I am going to aim further north if we are going to stay above this territory. If we're going to stay above this territory, yes, my next target is maybe somewhere around that 4,600 zone or something like that. So it could be a nice, good target, but initially I think that this is what I'm going to aim for. This 4,588, approximately around there. That's the high of the 5th of April. And is it? Yeah, it is the highest point of April. The highest point of April of 2022, guys. Good potential target. Let's see if we can reach that. Now then, going further, again, oh, by the way, in terms of the downside, now this is where the tricky bit comes in. Now, on one hand, I would say we could start looking already at lower levels if we do fall back below this territory, below this highlighted zone. Okay, that could be a good option. And if we do fall back below it, then yes, I'll consider a move to the downside. But from the shorter term perspective, you would need to keep an eye. Oh, why is this one so fat? We would need to keep an eye on this upside line drawn from the low of the 26th of June. Now, I get it. It's a little bit on the tentative side, but nevertheless, could be still a bit of, it could provide a bit of support. So that's why I will just going to aim for here initially if we do fall back below the 4,500 territory. Dow Jones Industrial Average looking good, and this is one of those moments where although I talked about the descending triangle and I said to you, but you know what? It tends to break recently. I think the rules are going to be will have to be rewritten, but it tends to break to the upside for some reason. But okay. Because in a way you would say, oh, maybe it's something like considered as a bullish pennant or something like that. But no, we don't have a pole, So like I think that we're going in slowly. That's just my opinion. But it seems like we're rewriting the rules of technical analysis, which I would not really agree with. However, I think that the market is adjusting to this. And it's basically like the casino rule, right? I mean, too many people are winning, and that's why let's create some sort of other logic, right, in order to kind of screw up, people. So that's why I'm trying to adjust as I go, and yes, I think I'm doing okay, but yes, I think some certain things will have to be reconsidered later on at some stage later on. But at this point, like I said, yeah, let's go from what we have. Let's go like slowly in general. And what I said to you previously, that if we do clear this downside line, my next target is the 34,700 territory right here. Well, look at this. We got a fantastic move here, and we got that test. I wouldn't say it's picture perfect because kind of found resistance kind of in between my levels here. So look, I would say somebody might say, but hey, what about this little hurdle here? Yeah, could do okay. The 34,800, yeah, could be a good one. But it seems like we're trying to trying to see something where it's not, maybe. But either way, look, I'll leave this one for now. At this point, I would say this way: as long as we stay above this downside line, there is still hope that the bulls could pick up here again and drive this one higher. Because my next target is the highest point of June. In general, that's the current highest point of this year. And yep, just to double check. Yep, that's correct. And if that gets cleared, well, a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed. So yeah, at the moment, guys, we've created a new high for this year, near the 34,889. But can we do a new one? That's a good question. Well, let's wait and see. In terms of the downside, now this is where I need to redraw stuff, and I think, although I do like the scenario of, let's say, waiting for a drop below the downside line, but in a way I don't want to depend a lot on the downside line, just because if it drops a little bit lower, starts oscillating around this trend line, basically meaning that it will start ignoring it, and then it will push back up again. So that's why I'm not gonna keep an eye on this downside line for the downside scenario. My downside scenario could come, well, this is another tricky bit, because I don't have anything interesting here. Even this, okay, maybe, just maybe, but to be honest, it kind of got violated here. So, look, ideally, I would say 34,232. I looked at this one previously, and I'll look at it again. But you could start already maybe from 34,363. But even then, honestly, I really don't like this, because it's trying to find or like some sort of logic somewhere where there's none. At this point, look, I will probably say it this way. If we do fall back below the downside line and we stay below it, okay, that doesn't mean that I'm going to start looking at aiming lower straight away. No, I'm going to let it settle. I'm going to let it rest, and then we'll see. Maybe it'll form something like a good area of support. And if that gets broken, then, then we could go lower. So with the downside, I would say I'm just, for now, very careful and cautious. Nasdaq 100. So just bear with me one moment. I need a good sip of tea. Oh, by the way, whoever's in the chat in here in this webinar as well, honestly, I would really like to find out, where are you from, or let's say which location are you currently you currently are. I have already 3 people. Thank you very much for those, guys, or ladies and gentlemen, or actually maybe a lady as well. So yep, everybody, thank you very much. Those 3 people, let's put it this way, the 3 people who are watching here who already mentioned where they're from, thank you very much. If somebody else can also mention where they're from, that would be fantastic. Now, Nasdaq 100. Nasdaq 100 futures here that I'm looking at, and there we go, fantastic move, great. Great push above that 15,500, or in general my level, the 15,475. So that's great. Look, as the same story, as long as we stay above it, I'll go further north. I'll go further north, and nothing else to add here. If we do fall back below this, maybe this is where I will consider a bit of a retracement, and then we'll take it from there. So something like this. Now then, again, not much to add here on NASDAQ. Like I said, that's the game plan. So I'm keeping an eye on that for 15,475 territory. If we start, let's say, dropping lower, but we start oscillating around this area, around this highlighted zone, then I will say that I'm neutral. I'm neutral, and I'm just going to be observing the price action, because again, this is not really something that I like. Maybe I'll have to redraw things, so maybe then I'll relook at my upside scenario as well. So, but at this point, let's keep it as it is. DAX, the German index, beautiful move to the downside line, fantastic test. Can we break it? Now the question, in general, look, I mean, the scenario worked out perfectly. I talked about this in the beginning of this week. I said to you that if we do pop back above the 15,834, I'll aim for the 200-day EMA, and I'll aim for this downside line. Boom. Fantastic. Mission accomplished. Team, we're heading home. Well, yes, maybe part of it. Maybe we'll swap teams, and at the moment, look, if we, I think, these bulls will rest. Other bulls might start coming in. Elumalai 1, say XAU USD. Say, you mean you want me to look at gold, right? Okay. I mean, look, this is the list that I'm going through on the right here. So these are all the instruments that I'm going to mention in this webinar. So, yep, you can see whenever you log in into the webinar, and you see that, for example, I already talked about this. You can watch the replay, but yep, I'm going to pick up on gold in a bit. Now, the German index, DAX, and looking at this picture here, yes, the 16,150 territory is providing currently a good resistance. Now, together with this downside line, if we get a clearance here, then yes, more buyers could join in, and we could aim for that 16,332 territory. At this point, that's the game plan. Not really doing anything else. Look, even if I want to consider some lower levels, I think that at this point I will stick to my 50-day EMA here, shown as the red line. If we do fall back below it, then I'll consider a larger correction here to the downside. But if you remember, as I said before, that Although I'm considering this to be a rising wedge pattern in the bigger picture, which tends to be a bearish indication, while we remain inside the pattern, we could still go higher. And this is exactly what's happening. But the question is now, for further upside, can we break this downside line? US dollar, there we go. That's the tragedy here. Yeah, looking good for the bears, right? I mean, at this point, I said it before, I'll say it again. Look, I said to you yesterday that if we do fall below this 101 territory, my next target is the 100.5842 levels here, and we've surpassed those. And now the question is, can we go further south? Well, to be honest, my next target further south is this one right here, the 99.80 zone. So just 99.80, marked by the low of the 21st of April of 2022. Again, some of you might say, but hey, we had quite a decent decline already. And that is true. That is correct. Maybe a bit of a retracement at some point could be possible here. Could be great, I would say. Maybe like a push back up here towards this 100.42 zone. And if we get a hold up here, maybe another decline here could be possible. So in other words, this is my ideal scenario. Again, how the market will behave, what you can do here is keep your eyes on yesterday's low. If we do clear that one, the 100.11, if we do clear that one, then yes, a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed and potentially more sellers could join in. So just keep that in mind. Gold. So this one is already did a retracement. So look, with the drawn here from a retracement here, basically on a 4-hour chart, you can see. So from yesterday's rally here to the peak we already had, we had that 23.6. In general, I would like to see a more like a larger correction here, to be honest, to the downside. But hey, the market doesn't always do what I want it to do, and as I said to you before, if we do break this downside line and we push above the EMAs here, my daily EMAs, the 50 and the 100, then my next target is the this ideal area is around the 1983.85. But before that, as I said to you, I will look into this at a later stage. Before that, we do have some of these obstacles like the 1967.73 levels. Now, these could potentially be some good targets. Of course, let's not rush into anything. Let's keep an eye on this for today. And yeah, if we do continue to rally, then these are my targets. Maybe, like I said, the ideal scenario here is a test of this 1983.85 territory. Look, a bit of a retracement here could be nice. Maybe that's already what happened here. Maybe I would like to see maybe a larger retracement here. But again, maybe I'm being biased a little bit. Either way, at this point, look, everything's looking quite positive on gold. And yes, like I said, my next target will be this 1967. Then I'm going to go to 73, and then I'm going to aim for that 83.85 levels. Silver. Silver is also, yeah, on a... Wow. I mean, yesterday it popped. Look at this. I talked about this area, and to be honest, I aimed for the 23.83 territory only. Well, we surpassed that one, and we went all the way towards that 24.21 zone, approximately around here. We're stalling here currently. The question is, can we go further north? Well, I would say this way, yes, we can. And in a way, I would say this way, that as long as we stay above this territory, above that 24.21 zone, then yes, my next target is the 24.53, marked by the highest point of June. Oil. We reached my target. Fantastic. We reached my 200-day EMA. This is what I kept on talking about throughout this whole week. I said to you that if we remain above the 100-day EMA, then yes, I will go further north towards the 200-day EMA. That's great. We reached that. So what's next? Well, again, we step by step, slowly, without any rush. If we do pop above the 200-day EMA, then yes, I'll go higher, and this is where I'm going to aim for the certain levels here. Like, for example, this right here, and something around these lines. Let me just put them on the chart. So probably somewhere around here. So maybe around here, this 79, starting off with 79 level, and then maybe a little bit above it. Maybe that psychological 80 zone could be a nice one, but at this point, look, I think that it's best to just keep an eye on the 200-day EMA. If it provides resistance, maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. However, my downside scenario would come on a break of this steep, tentative, short-term upside support line drawn from the low of the 28th of June. Bitcoin, not really doing much. So I would say just it's not exciting. It's not exciting. It is forming something of a bullish flag. Yes. This right here. We have our pole, we have our flag. Will it break to the upside? Again, who knows, because I've seen this happening in the opposite direction as well. So maybe this is actually forming something else. Maybe it's like a weird head and shoulders pattern or something like that. But, you know, we don't know yet, because either way, even if it's a flag, even if it's a head and shoulders pattern, we still need to see a clearance for the downside, 29,500. That's for me here, approximately around there. For the upside, 31,500. These are the levels that I'm areas, not levels exactly, but areas I'm watching. So if we do get a clearance of one of the clearances there, then maybe they'll consider the next short-term directional move. Bitcoin Cash. This one is breaking nicely. So, yeah, beautiful move. Mainly driven, of course, by the weakness in the dollar. BCH-USD here broke the upper side of my falling wedge pattern, and there we go. So, everything's looking quite positive. So, at this point, 302.50 territory is the one that I'm watching here, and yeah, as long as we stay above the upper side of this pattern, then I'm aiming for this 302.50 for the downside. Well, this is where I think, look, I'm going to keep this wedge for now, although let's say if we do reverse back down here, yes, it might be a little bit in the way, but if we do reverse back down, I will remove the lines here of this falling wedge pattern. But what I'm looking at here for the downside, at least to drop below the 257 territory right here, just to start looking at some lower levels. Because again, don't get me wrong, we might get a hold up somewhere around here, then maybe a rebound back up. But we could at least start looking at some lower levels if we do drop below the 257 zone. Litecoin, beautiful push. Okay, everything's fine. Looking good, I would say. The question is, can we have a hold up here near this downside line? Well, at this point, yes, we're seeing one. So this is what I talked about from the beginning of this week when I was covering Litecoin. I said to you that, look, we got a hold of. I said to you that if we stay somewhere above the crossroads here of these two trend lines, the upside one and this steeper downside one, then yes, and a reversal back to the upside could be possible. We could go higher, and I'll aim for this downside line, this one drawn from the high of the 16th of February. We got a test of it, as you can see. Perfect result here. The question now is, can we go further? Can we clear that? If we clear that and stay above it, I'll go higher. Simple as that. If we struggle, maybe we could see a bit of a retracement back down, but I'll take it from there later on. Prosperity Traders, ETH-USD. I do look at it occasionally, but I vary. Sometimes I look at Bitcoin, sometimes I look at Ethereum, but not much. It's in the same kind of, it's in the same place as Bitcoin, to be honest. So it's like, it's basically here. It's not doing much. So it's, I talked about this already, like yesterday, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of like maybe forming a weird head and shoulders pattern or something like that. But at this point, I need to see a pop-up of the 1977 territory in order to go higher. For the downside, a drop below this upside line here, and then drawn from the low of the 20th of June could do the trick for the downside, because at the same time, we would fall below the 100-day EMA. And then we could take it from there. So yeah, jumping back into my red list here, AUDUSD. So look at this, guys. Look at this. I mean, this is just wow. I mean, good move in general. I talked about this from the beginning of this week. I said to you that if we clear this highlighted zone, I'll aim higher. And then yesterday I said to you that if we do clear this 0.6740 territory, my next target is the 0.6806. Fantastic. fantastic. Everything's working according to the plan. Now, what's next? Well, we're lifting my arrow here, and now I'll say this way: as long as we stay above the 0.6806, then yes, I will continue targeting the upside, where my next target is the 0.69 territory right here. Prosperity traders, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I don't know if it helps, but like I said, I vary between these. I don't pick up on every crypto because some of them are doing the same thing as others, so I'm just picking up on one of them and just kind of but some, like let's say like Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, which are moving a little bit better, those I kind of look at separately. Yeah, AUDUSD, good move here. So for now, long story short, I will aim higher as long as we stay above the 0.6806. Now, in terms of the downside, what I want to do really here is actually remove all the drawings. I'll bring back some of the lines here, like for example this one and that one. These are going to be my targets. So this is what I'm going to be aiming for. But for the downside now, I would really like to see, and this is me probably wanting to see what I want to see, is this drop somewhere below this hurdle, the 0.6740, which, yeah, could be a nice, good, interesting target. At the same time, if we fall back below it, we would fall back below the 200-day EMA. Now, my arrow, the downside arrow, will not be very long because, again, we have this to consider. So we have an upside line here now, and yes, we need to, I think, keep an eye on it. Because again, maybe this will end up forming something like an ascending triangle pattern, which according to all the TA rules tends to be a bullish indication. But of course, don't rush into anything yet. So for now, let's keep it short and simple. For now, like I said, these are the two areas that I'm sticking to. AUDJPY, beautiful reversal from this territory. Look at this. This is amazing. This is what I talked about yesterday, and I said to you that as long as we stay below the 95.15 territory, I'm aiming lower towards this upside line. And as I said before, it's never the exact test. I mean, if I'm talking about level, that means it's more of the area around it. Or let's say if it's a trend line, then maybe it's the area near that. So as you can see, this is one of the proofs, and we also almost came very close to testing the 100-day EMA, but in general, yes, everything worked out nicely here. We rebounded, we're pushing back up. Still my question is, can we remain bearish? So the market right now is, yes, enjoying the moment. And this is, by the way, this pair is kind of a risk-on and risk-off environment indicator. So at this point, you can see that there's positivity in the market, in the stock market. So we're seeing AUDJPY pushing higher. Once this reverses back to the downside, then, yeah, we can expect weakness in the market because everybody's jumping into yen. AUDNZD, okay, this one worked out nicely yesterday, but it was a quick trade, I think. So I said to you yesterday that if we do pop above this 1.08 territory, I'll go higher. I'll aim for these EMAs here. Perfect test, perfect touch, and then look at this quick reversal back down. However, I'm not gonna get bearish because my downside scenario is from around here, from around this 1.0729. If we clear down, then I'll go to the downside. Until then, I'm just observing the price action, to be honest. For the upside, I need to push back over the 1.08 territory in order to go to the upside. NZDUSD, this one is a rocket ship, honestly. Look at this. After we had no rate hike on our BNZ, somehow this is, but again, this is, I know it's moving because of the dollar, nothing else. So we're seeing we're seeing a strong move here. We're clearing this downside line, and yes, the question is where next? Well, to be honest, as long as we stay above this downside line, I am targeting this territory right here, the 0.6380, approximately around here. So this is going to be my target as long as we stay above this downside line. If we start falling a little bit lower here, I would consider the downside if we do fall back below this steep upside line drawn from the low of the 29th of June. I get it, it's a little bit on the tentative side, but nevertheless, still, I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to wait and see what's going to happen from here. NZDCHF. So beautiful move here, beautiful rebound, I would say. So I'm sticking to my plan here. I'm saying that, look, this here is something of a descending triangle pattern. Again, maybe it'll break to the downside, maybe not, but at this point, yes, it seems like a descending triangle pattern. We need to see which tends to break to the downside, of course, but again, as I keep on mentioning, wait for that clearance, because as I said before, I'm starting to notice that there's a pattern of breaking to the other side, basically. So at this point, yes, I'm looking at this picture here. I'm neutral as long as we remain in here. I'm just observing the price action. I'm just gonna consider something from here and from here. USDJPY, this one, yeah, fantastic decline. Look at this. So we reached my target, the 138.75, but as I said to you yesterday, I said to you that, hey, maybe this is going to hold here. And you can see that it failed to hold. So now, in a way, I would like to see maybe some lower levels, as long as we stay below the 100-day EMA. My next target is the 200-day EMA. That's it. I'm taking simplistic approaches here, and I'm not really trying to invent something. But at this point, if we do somehow climb back above the 100-day EMA and stay above it, then yes, I'll consider a bit of a retracement here. So something, a bit of a move back up, maybe towards the 50-day EMA or something like that, and then I'll take it from there. USDCHF, this one is looking, oh, wow, this is just, look, I talked about this yesterday. I said to you that if we break this territory, and we broke it, I said my next target is the 0.8757, which, by the way, is the lowest point of 2021. And look at this, guys. I mean, we are just drifting further south. I mean, of course, this is very tempting to go along here at some point, and yeah, this is just yeah, it's like I said, it's very tempting, but just be careful, I would say. At this point, it's a little bit unclear what's going to happen further. USDCAD, this one, oh, by the way, with the upside, if you want to play it safe, maybe again, if you want to play it safe, I would say wait for it. You know, if you were looking for some higher levels, let it settle down, and then we can do something about it. USDCAD, beautiful decline. Yes, of course, the fact that yesterday, by the way, the Bank of Canada came out with the expected hike, which played out positively for the Canadian dollar. Also, rising oil is playing out positively for the Canadian dollar, and of course the fact that yes, the US dollar is on a decline. This is also you know, helping to strengthen the Canadian dollar against the US dollar. So either way, what I'm looking at here from the technical perspective is that if we do fall, and we did fall below the 1.32 territory, I said to you that I'm leaning towards this 1.3116 territory right here. That's my next area of support. However, I'm careful with this. I'm not rushing into anything. And today, look, in general, today we do have some data coming out, and by the way, we got some UK data that just came out, and I'll pick up on that in a bit. But in terms of the US data, we do have the initial and continuous jobless claims coming out. Also, the PPIs are coming out later on, so check out those, and the OPEC monthly report. I think that, yeah, that's the Fed. By the way, Fed's balance sheet is also coming out. That's something to keep in mind later on. We'll see how that's going to play out. But at this point, yeah, those are the data sets that are on the lookout. Again, at this point, I think that, yeah, the weakness could continue in the dollar. So let's see, you know, let's see if we can reach my 1.3116 zone. GBPUSD, there we go, reached my 1.30 zone. So there we go, guys. Beautiful test. So, had a viewer on Tuesday. We were talking about the you know, the situation here on GBPUSD about a retracement. Well, back to the 1.2750. Well, I said to him that it's more likely that we'll reach the psychological 130 zone, and we reached that. And we reached it, and we surpassed it, and we're currently trading above it. So the question is, can we continue to trade above it? Now, if we can, then yes, I would say more buyers could join in here. So as long as we stay above the 1.30 zone, then yes, further upside is possible. Of course, there are a bunch of levels to consider then. Now, one of the targets here right now is this one, the 1.3090, and then slowly we could aim for other ones like right here, for example, and maybe even around here. So a bunch of these levels could be nice good targets, but the first one is the 1.3090. Also, by the way, as I said, economic data came out. So here the picture is that where's that picture? GDP numbers came out. So better than the forecast. Not better than the previous number, but better than the forecast. So we were expecting some negative numbers on GDP, the month-on-month and year-on-year numbers, but those came as an improvement. So industrial production declined, by the way. Manufacturing production improved. So it's a bit all over the place, I would say. So I think that this pair will this will kind of remain more subject to the dollar activity today. GBPCAD, this one is also near a key resistance barrier, so we reached my target. But as I said to you yesterday when I was covering this one, I said, look, wait for this one to make a better move. Yes, we keep on getting these breakouts, but they're all false breakouts. 1.7148 is something that I'm keeping close eye on here, and as you can see, this one is not surrendering to the bulls. Yes, so at this point, I will take a step away and I'll just observe the price action, and as long as we stay in here and below this barrier but above this upside line, I will take a neutral stand. If we break the upside line, great, I'll go lower. But if we push above this 1.7148 zone and stay above it, then yes, more buyers could join in. In a way, you could keep an eye on that psychological 50 zone, so 1.7150. You could keep an eye on that one. If we do clear it, yes, more buyers could join in. EURJPY, this one, yeah, great. Mission accomplished, I would say. My 50% retracement got reached together with the 50-day EMA. So boom, fantastic move. So yeah, what's next? Well, next is a removal of the Fibonacci. Thank you very much. We had a good time. Time to go. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to stick to some key support and resistance levels. First of all, this downside line, something that I'm keeping an eye on. If we do fall below the 153.42 zone right here, then yes, more sellers could join in and we could aim for that 100-day EMA. For the upside, I need to see a break of this downside line, and then I will start considering slowly a move, maybe back to the upside, maybe back to this somewhere territory around here, this 158 zone. But yeah, at this point, while we're remaining here, I'm just neutral. I'm just going to be observing the price action. Euro Aussie, something that I haven't looked for quite a while, but looking at the picture here, the 1.65, 0616 area is kind of doing a good job providing resistance so far. So if we want to go higher, a break of that is needed. At the moment, it seems like we're drifting towards the 50-day EMA, which previously, as you can see, acted as a good area of support. It did provide a good hold up. And yes, if we do get the same thing again, then I would say this way that maybe then a rebound back up could be possible. Maybe we would form something, interesting, maybe like a triangle pattern or something like that. But at this, okay, let me show you something here. Not this one. I mean, you probably already see it yourselves, but just for the sake of it, maybe something like this here could be possible. So like a triangle pattern. And yeah, maybe we'll start coiling up later on and waiting. And that would create the excitement of waiting for a breakout. So at this point, I think that in order to go lower, a drop below the 50-day EMA is needed. In order to go higher, a push above the 1.65 territory at least is required. And finally, EURUSD. So, this one is, wow, yesterday's move, fantastic move. So, okay, we broke some key resistance barriers, and look at this. We created a new high for the year. We crushed that 1.1095 territory. We surpassed the 1.11, and we're still above it. So, yeah, I mean, in a way, this worked out perfectly. I talked about this. I said to you, as long as we stay above this 1.1012 territory, then yes, I'm leaning towards the upside. Now, let's put it this way. As long as we stay above the 1.11 territory, I'm leaning towards higher levels. And in terms of higher levels, my next target here could be this one. This one right here, the high of the 31st of March. Sorry, is that March? Yeah, March. That's the highest point of March, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, that's not the high. That's the highest point of 31st of March. Sorry, the high of the 31st of March of last year. Good potential target, 1.1185. Let's see if we can reach that one. So yeah, guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your rockets, your comments. And by the way, thank you very much for saying where you're from. That's really exciting. It's really exciting. Vegas, UK, South Africa. So guys, I hope you're having a wonderful, everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday. I hope you will have a wonderful Thursday. I hope, you won't overtrade. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose, and everything will be fine. So yeah, guys, thank you very much. Join me tomorrow for the last session this week. And yeah, tomorrow is always 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, thank you very much, and bye-bye. If you want to continue to please the trading gods, subscribe to our channel for a blessing.